Gee, Betty, I heard that you brought some interesting animals with you to be on the show today. I'm really excited. What'd you bring?
Yes.
Well, okay, let's see. Is it Pacarana, a rare form of South American rodent that's indigenous to mountain areas and eats various forms of fruits and leaves?
Yes, it is. How did you know?
It's just a lucky guess.
There's a kind of hush all over the world because it's time for another exciting Jim Nabors show. Today, Jim's guests are a delightful woman. She's a highly acclaimed actress and comedian and the best friend any animal could have, Betty White. Also joining Jim today is a delightful lady with a powerful voice and a reputation for really turning audiences on, Miss Dusty Springfield. A young man who's got good looks, a great voice, and two first names, the talented Randy Richards. And a man with a funny mind which enables him to strike your funny bone, comedian Jim Samuel. And now the man who says the entertainment goes in before the name goes on, the star of the show, Jim Nabors.
Boy, howdy. Got a good groove. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another action-packed, fun-filled show. We do have a show for you today, though. Right now, though, I want you to meet a good friend of mine, and I'm so happy she's on the show. She's an actress, she's a comedian, and best of all, she's one of the most all-around entertaining people that I've ever known. Would you please welcome the fabulous Miss Betty White.
Cookie, I want you to meet Jim.
Hi, Cookie. Who's your what about your friend here? Tell us about it.
Well, my friend is from the Greater Los Angeles Zoo Association, who's kind enough to send in from the LA Zoo, send in Cookie. He's about, which is it,
Is
he
it
or she?
he or she? Maybe she'll whisper in your ear or something.
It doesn't matter except to another sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But she is just as sugar. You know, they are the sweetest birds in the world.
Uh-huh.
They're from Australia.
Does Alan like animals as much as you do?
Yeah, he does now. He didn't know he did when he married me, but he does. But you know the thing, I do want to make a point about this little guy.
Uh-huh.
You know Fred on Beretta?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And he started, everybody began to be aware of these lovely fellows from Australia. And everybody wanted one. And it became kind of a status symbol and very current in choice. And it's really a shame unless you really want one and really are going to give them a good home, because to get these guys, you know, there's a lot of trafficking in birds now.
Uh-huh.
And some of the less good people will smuggle them over the border and then sell them. And we lose too many. For each pet that you have, we lose too many of them. So be very, very certain before you get a pet like this that you're going to give him a very good home.
Well, he's gorgeous.
Is he not the sweetest thing you ever saw?
He's just beautiful. Well, I'm really glad you brought him. Now, this is an Australian one?
He's from Australia. Can you imagine a flock of these flying over the countryside in Australia?
Are they just in...
They just hang out together, that's all.
Oh,
Can you put that
gorgeous.
pretty peak up? Can you put that pretty crest up? Can you get the crest up? They do that when they're very happy or very excited or when they're mad. And I don't want you to be mad.
No.
Can you get it up? Come on.
He's obviously not too excited. I don't know if it's mad.
How is that for doing on cue? That's
well, I tell
very
you,
good.
Betty, you really got a lot of power over these.
Hello, Blue. You see those blue rings? Will you pull it now? Will you just hold it down just a little? They can be taught to talk, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can be taught to talk, not to really talk. You can't sit down and carry on a conversation, but they'll mimic.
Uh-huh.
But he's also called the blue-eyed cockatoo. See those blue circles?
Gorgeous. What animals do you have at home?
I just have 2 dogs now, Jim.
Really?
I have a very little old poodle who doesn't know he's that old. He lies about his age. And then I have, are you going to yawn? Are we boring you?
Yeah, just.
And then we have a foundling who now is 7, going to be 8 years old. He's a lab golden cross.
What was the? Do you remember growing up? Which was the first pet you ever had?
Well, there was a marmalade cat that was in the family before I was born. When I came home from the hospital, it was, Toby had to approve of me, or I went back to the hospital. So I guess he was about my first pet, and then we've had everything, tortoises and white mice and.
Well, I don't know, but I don't think I would hold him like that because you might get your skirt ruined. There.
It would not be the first time nor
really?
the last time.
Really?
Kangaroo, camel, you name it, it's happened.
Well, I know you brought somebody else from the LA Zoo, and we'll meet them right after this. We'll be right back. I see Betty's brought us another friend from the LAZ. How'd you find him?
Well, he found us, kind of. This is a little pacarana, Jim. Pacarana, he's the 3rd largest rodent. He's also a crybaby.
Oh,
third largest
bless
rodent
his
there
heart.
is. The beaver
Don't
is a little
cry.
bigger than he is, and then there's the capybara, which is the biggest one of all. But this guy comes from South America. Up in the, what's the matter?
He just
Up in the
cried.
high country of Bolivia and Peru. And they feed on vegetation, as you said so aptly in the beginning of the show. You know all about
Oh,
it.
they're beautiful, really.
Isn't he a good fellow?
He's gorgeous.
And they don't know what these claws are for because the ones in captivity have never been observed digging, but they look like digging tools. But they never see them. But there aren't even too many of these fellas in the wild.
Really?
No, and they're not too much known about them. We, as a matter of fact, obtained him at the Los Angeles Zoo, thinking he was a paca. We got him as a paca, and when he came, we thought, no, that ain't no paca. So we looked it up, and it was a pacarana.
Pacarana, bless him. Got the longest whiskers I ever saw.
Yes, he has. Now he's simmering down. He's beginning to relax a little bit.
Oh,
Have you been up to the zoo, Jim?
yes, I have. It's incredible.
Isn't it a good zoo?
It's
we're working
terrific.
so hard. We've got so many good new things up
Yeah.
there. We're really.
Tell me this. I was
brought
watching
bushes.
on the news the other night that you were up in Sacramento as sort of lobbying or something. What was that all about?
Yes, and I was scared to death, as a matter of
You
fact.
never been a lobbyist before, huh?
No, I haven't. I usually am up in the room. I very seldom work the lobby. No, that's not right. Right at all.
Oh,
I tell you what it was. Earl Holliman is with Actors and Others for
Right,
Animals.
yeah.
And I'm with American Humane. And there were a whole bunch of us that were going to go up, and everybody was working. So Jackie Joseph and Earl and I went up there. First of all, we went up the day early and went around and met all the councilmen. We went, the supervisors. We went into their assemblymen, I should say, into their offices to try to give our side of it. It's to make it illegal to exhibit a motion picture wherein an animal has been abused or killed. And you'd say, well, how can anybody be against that? Because nobody is for cruelty. But the other side's argument was that perhaps it might border on censorship. The ACLU was very, very upset about that. But we carefully spelled out that we don't care what you show. We don't care what vulgarity, what awfulness you want to show. You can cut an animal up, set a horse on fire, whatever, as long as you simulate it. They can do anything on film now. You know, if we can do Towering Inferno and Poseidon Adventure and all those, you can simulate anything. So it does not infringe on anything that the public sees, except that it means that they cannot, it's got to be ketchup. It can't be blood.
In actuality, they can't literally hurt an
animal or,
just to be able to film it.
Yeah, because there's so much overseas production, and we can't have somebody on the set at all times if they're shooting in Spain, let's say, or Africa. But if we get them where the money comes in at the exhibitors level, why at least it will discourage them. They'll then pay $65 to get a falling horse that's trained to fall safely, rather than just get any horse and take a chance, trip him, and perhaps lose the horse. But the thing is, we simulate it with human beings. I mean, Sam Peckinpah invented the game. You can see a man getting himself blown to bits before your very eyes. But the logical extension of that, if indeed our protecting the animals is infringing on your right to see what you want to see, then the logical extension would be that ultimately we should use real people for that. So we're not, I don't think anybody's very far apart on it, and we got it through 8-2.
Well, that's
so now it just
great.
has
That's
to go through
great.
the Senate. That's terrific.
Was the response from the legislatures pretty much in your favor all the way around?
In certain instances, except on the ones that didn't really want to make any kind of a decision that would put a little wedge in the door that might mean censorship. And I don't blame them for that at all, but they came around our way of thinking for it.
How did you get to this position? Did you, just because you're with the Humane Society?
Well, I tell you, I've always been involved with the animal
Yeah, I know
situation, as you know, and I work with the performing animals a lot because we do our Patsy Awards
Oh, yeah,
every
right,
year,
yeah.
you know. So we just have to kind of protect because the trainers are over a barrel. They can't make a lot of noise and complain because it's their livelihood. And
Sure.
if a producer can just say, well, don't use so-and-so or his animals anymore. So we got to fight for him.
What's his name again?
Packy. This is a
Packy.
Pacarana.
Well, I know, but that's what you call him, Packy.
Packy,
Well, we're
and
very
he's
glad
just
to
a
have
youngster.
Packy here today. But we'll be right back after a word from General Foods. My next guest is pretty, she's exciting, and I'm a big fan of hers, and she's had great hits in the music field. Son of a Preacher Man, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, which I recorded, but not nearly as nice as she did. The Look of Love. Would you all please welcome the fabulous Miss Dusty Springfield.
She's a great little housewife, though sometimes she talks like a fool. But she helps at the store in the holiday rush, and she picks up the kids after school. And she puts down the phone when her husband comes home, and she changes from mother to wife, till she feels the words hanging between them, and she hangs by her words to her life. She says, I swear I love my husband, I love my kids. I wanted to be like my mother, but if I hadn't done it as soon as I did, well, there might have been time to be me for myself, for myself. So many things that she wishes, she don't even know what she's missing, and that's how she knows that she missed. She's a sweetheart, except when she's moody. It's hard to get through to her then. Depressed for a while when the youngest was born. Oh, but that happens now and again. Oh, she might take a drink with the housework, or when Michael's kept late at the shop, a martini or two before dinner. But she always knows when to stop. She said, I swear I love my husband, and I love my kids. No, I wanted to be like my mother, but if I hadn't done it as soon as I did, oh, there might have been time to be me for myself, for myself. So many things that she wishes, she don't even know what she's missing, and that's how she knows that she missed. Oh, they used to hold hands at the movies. Now it's seldom if ever they go. Once you paid for the sitter and parking the car, there's no money left for the show. She was doing the dishes when a glass fell and broke on the tile. She cut her wrist quite by mistake. It was real touch and go for a while. She said, oh God, I love my husband and I love my kids. Well, I wanted to be like my mother, but if I hadn't done it as soon as I did, oh, there might have been time to be me for myself, for myself. So many things that she wishes. She don't even know what she's missing. And that's how she knows that she missed.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was a beautiful song. I love that.
Made it across on these heels. They're helpful.
They're pretty high, I noticed that. That's gorgeous. Where'd you get that song?
That's written by Barry Manilow and
Was
Enoch
it?
Anderson. It's unusual to find a song that I feel is an accurate observation of a woman written by men.
Really?
With some kind of understanding of what goes on in a woman's life.
Have you ever felt that way yourself?
Well, I think everyone feels it, whether they're a man or woman, if they feel trapped in any given situation. But I have a great empathy for homemakers as such. I think it has to be the hardest job in the world.
I think a lot of people think that too.
There's no way I could do it. Yay! Applause for everyone.
Oh, have you ever felt that way, Betty?
I've always been a happy homemaker.
It's possible. It's possible.
I know exactly what you mean because we work so much. We don't do that, but I really, really admire them so much. The household engineers.
Absolutely, the whole thing.
I don't know. I understand you just went back to your hometown.
Yes.
Where's
it was
that?
London, England.
Yes?
It was a marvelous trip for me.
Really?
Well, about 4 years ago, I sort of pulled the plug on my own career. I was very jaded and tired, and the thing had lost its fun for me.
Really?
And I don't know whether it was idiocy or good sense. It seems now that, in retrospect, it was good sense, and I'm lucky enough to have the kind of job that I could make that kind of decision in. And I had time to reappraise my life, which I'd never had time to do before. I'd never had time to be a person. Because I left convent school at the age of 17, I set about creating a different kind of life for myself, and I never really had time to breathe or be a human being. So I stopped for 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I wish I'd
didn't
done something.
realize that.
No, I wish I'd done something exciting like potato farming or anything, but I didn't.
no.
I just really sort of became a person.
I didn't realize, that you had quit for 4 years because, when you have such terrific hits like you did and you had such a good career, the memory of it just seems ever present.
I've been very lucky. That's nice that you say that. I mean, while I've been in Los Angeles during those 4 years, I'd turn on the radio and the DJs would play the records. And it's nice now to have new products so that they can play something new. It's a good feeling for me.
I really did. You don't have to say you love me. I did it right after.
I'd love to hear it.
Oh, no, don't want you to ever hear it.
Oh, come on.
No, I didn't. No, I did it in, I learned part of it. I did it in French, too.
Have you ever heard it in Italian?
That's, I mean, Italian.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Siamo qui, non solo okay. Anyway, I understand you brought a friend with you today.
Oh, it seems to be an animal show today.
I love
Let
it.
me
All this-
see. This is, in its way, quite a rare animal. This is a ragdoll cat.
A ragdoll. Oh, hello there.
Its name is Moomin,
Moomin.
and it looks as though it's a Siamese, or Himalayan, or Himalayan, as you may say here. But it is neither, and it's a breed that's relatively new. It's about 10 years old.
Where did they get a breed called the ragdoll? How does it
Well,
they come
supposedly,
about?
I don't know whether she'll do it, but but you can hang them over your
El
arm and
Limpo
just carry
Deluxe.
her. Yeah, Limpo. They have extra bones in their back, and they are totally submissive. They have no fighting instincts. I have other cats, and all she wants to do is play. Or if they show any sign of threatening her, she will roll over on her side and play dead. You know, she's absolutely hopeless. She's got no spunk in that way, but she's adorable.
Looks like she's been in the
Beautiful.
milk.
Do you really have 9 cats?
Oh, yes, look at this. There's an irregularity. Do I have 9? I'm not supposed to. Hush. Yeah, they're all wearing different
They'll
costumes.
never tell. Nobody out there will tell.
Oh,
Will
yeah.
you want to tell, will you? No.
You won't, please.
No, really. Do you have 9? Or
I have 5.
5.
The rest of you.
How many do you have?
I don't have any cats right now, and it's driving me crazy because I love them. But my little old man would not take kindly to a cat at this point because he's blind and deaf, and I think it would really shake him up a lot if he couldn't see what was going on.
We'll be right back after this message. I'll be right back with my guests, Betty White, Dusty Springfield, Randy Richards, and Jim Samuels, right after this. Thank you. I'm back with Dusty Springfield and Betty White and Moomy here, beautiful rag doll. And Betty, I guess you, or Dusty, both of you, I guess you'd agree that a stand-up comic is probably one of the hardest jobs in the world, in our business, right?
Absolutely.
Well, it does take great imagination and ability to, to kind of see the funny side of things. And my next guest does just that. He's terrific. Jim Samuels.
Thank you. Oh, how is everybody? All right. Hey, anybody besides me see the solar eclipse today? Huh? No, my name is Jim Samuels, and I'm hungry. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to one of these fancy restaurants afterwards where they have a big floor show because there's a big sign that says, "Steak and lobster dancing nightly." Oh, I know what you're saying now. Sure, he's got a couple quick, funny lines, but can he handle a pair of pliers? Huh? Well, I'd like to demonstrate the first homemade color Polaroid camera. And there it is. Hope it works. Isn't that amazing? Well, apparently not. You know, I finally figured out exactly what it is I don't like about those newfangled potato chips, the stacked chips. I don't like clone potato chips. Some Nazi scientists figured out this is the perfect chip. We'll make all the other chips like it. They will all march out in a row. March, 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 march. No defects. What it really points up, though, is that science has advanced to the point where soon we'll be able to get a computer pregnant. In fact, I'm sure the day has already arrived. Bubba, hi. It's my baby. See everybody? You're cutie. You hungry or something, huh? Baba. Oh, we got some juice. Got some juice. Yeah, lots of juice. Yeah. Drink the juice. Drink. Oh, good, Baba. Good. Come on, eat. Yeah, I like your cat.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. We're glad you
Thank
could
you.
make it. Last time we asked Jim to be a guest, he couldn't make it.
No, well, some people have real good excuses like, well, I'm flying out to tape a special, or oh, I'm going to Tahoe. I couldn't get a babysitter. Is what
How many kids do you have?
No, I have 2 boys, actually.
Yeah.
Little Joshua, he'll be a year old this Sunday. And my older boy, Jason. Oh, Jason was watching a rerun of Gomer Pyle the other day, and I said, this is the guy that I'm going to be on his show. And he burst out crying, and I said, well, what's the matter? And he went, I don't want you to get drafted.
I understand you're doing a film now, though.
Yes, it's called 7 Dreams.
Yeah.
And the writer insisted that he's writing a part especially for me, and he insisted I'm going to be on. It's
Who's the writer?
oh, well, I am. But it's about a psychiatrist who doesn't trust mental hospitals, so he has all his patients live at home with him.
Interesting.
Where do you get your material?
I steal it,
Do you?
mostly.
Yeah?
Yeah, I find that's the most efficient form of building up an act.
I do that with salt.
Who's your favorite person to steal from?
Oh, let's see.
I shouldn't have asked that. Anyway, we'll be right back, so y'all don't budge. He's going to think about it. Thank you. The young fellow you're about to meet recently made his acting debut in an episode of James at 15. But first, and foremost, he's really a fine singer and a performer, and he's been on our show before. And he's going to sing now. His hit single from his new album on A&M Records is Randy Richards.
Ever since that first night when I gave my love to you, everything just seems so right. You are my sunlight shining through. And I've tried so not to let it show, and yet it seems sad because I know no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I try, there's always a smile softly as you leave my bed, and I tightly hold your hand. And you lean down and kiss my head, but there's nothing to be said. And if you said you want to stay, well, I know you'd soon be on your way. No matter how hard I try, no matter how hard you try, there's always a so here we stand, you and I. You are too kind, and I'm too shy to say what we really feel. So we make never showing wrong, only the parts we play. No matter how hard we try, no matter how hard we try, there's always a good no matter how hard we try, there's always a good
Good to see you. Really a beautiful song. Yeah. No, that's a great song.
Thank
I
you.
love that. That's
Thank
from
you.
your new album?
Yeah, yeah.
That's terrific. I had mentioned earlier, that you had been on our show before, and we always enjoyed having you. He's from Alabama, too.
Thank you.
My hometown. I was also telling the audience, too, that you made your debut on James at 15.
Yeah, that
And
was
what
recently.
part did you play in that?
Well, I played a street singer in that.
Street
Yeah,
like
know,
a
out
San
on-
Francisco
Yeah,
kind of
that
street?
kind of thing.
Yeah, I see. Well,
kind of a a roving guy about town, whatever.
were you ever? Did you ever do that back home?
No,
Like
I'd never done that. Never done that before. But I did research it when I knew I was going to do the part. A few days before we started filming the show, I took my guitar and went out on the street and I gave it a try.
Oh, you're
'cause,
kidding.
Yeah,
How
I
did
wanted
you
to
do?
find out what it was.
Make much?
What it was about. No.
Make a profit?
No, I didn't make anything. It's a good thing I don't have to make my living that way.
What was it like, singing on the street, though?
Well,
I never did try that. So,
I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
did you ever sing on the streets? Excuse the expression, Dusty.
Not as yet.
Were you ever on the
time may
streets,
arrive.
Dusty?
Well, I hate to tell you, but they have a lot of street singers in England. They're called buskers. I don't know what they're called here, but they entertain the theatre queues. And in fact, they actually make a lot of money. They get in their Rolls Royce and drive away after the evening is up. There's a pair of them that busks in Leicester Square. that does that. Yep.
We have something of that order on Hollywood Boulevard. We have quite a few.
I imagine it.
I've never seen many singers down on Hollywood Boulevard, though.
No, they're not buskers exactly, but they're close.
How about you, Jim? Did you ever try a street corner to do your act?
Well, comedy in the street, usually they just consider you crazy and they take you away. But if you do it on a stage, then they go, oh, hey, that's all right.
You never tried it on the street?
Street comedy, boy, that's a nice concept, though.
I can see him. Can you feature Jim doing the bit with the Polaroid camera on the street corner? Up the picture like that.
Security.
They would take you away.
Yes, they would.
We'll be right back after this. We were talking earlier before you guys came out, and Dusty, quit the business for about 4 years there. And so, to sort of get a reevaluation of oneself. And I was just curious as to if any of you remember what you were doing 10 years ago in 1968. Randy?
That's a good question.
You don't know? You remember?
No, I was just trying to make it in the business,
You just drifting?
knocking on doors.
Uh-huh. I see.
Knocked on the right one, obviously.
Yeah, well,
You sure did.
still knocking.
Every day.
My album.
What were you doing, Betty? How about you?
In 1968, we were just moving back out here. Alan, when I married Alan, he moved me to New York. We lived in New York.
Yeah.
And then all our work brought us out here, so we just moved back out here, and I was awful glad to be back in California again.
Gee whiz. And 68, you were...
Where I was? I think I was in Australia. I don't know. I must-
Country dropper.
Yeah, it's a very large spud. Australia is a very strange place to play because it's very large and they don't have the niceties necessarily for touring that.
It's upside down, too.
Yes, it's a mess. The fans are very demonstrative there. I mean, they
I
would-
love the fans there.
They would drive alongside the bus and literally, I remember it was a rock and roll tour and they were really crazy. They would drive their cars up and bang into the side of the bus. Like,
Really?
Yes, nuts. And I was in a dressing room once in Perth, and they came through the window with hockey sticks.
What were they going to do? Did they
I
think
have
you were
no
a pup
idea.
or something?
Where were you, Jim?
Oh, in 1968, I was doing Gomer Pyle, and that was all I was doing, I tell you. I mean, I was having a real good thing going at the time in '68. We were shooting. It was my next to last year of Gomer, and I really loved doing it. We had to work awful hard. Really did. Most people don't know how hard you have to work on a
What
film
kind of
show.
hours?
I got up at 5 o'clock every morning,
Oh.
and I got home at about 9 at night. And after, even as tired as I was, you know, having been in every single shot all day long, I still had 15 pages of dialogue to memorize. You know, and nobody ever sees that part of it. You're like this, crazy, you know. But I'm still a day person as a result of that. Getting up at 5 o'clock every single morning, I still like the daytime and the sunrise. That still turns me on. But are you happy? Are you happy with what you're doing now? Are you glad to be back?
Oh, very, very much so. I mean, it's a joy all over again. It was something I'd lost, and now it's back, and it's a good feeling.
Oh, that's terrific. We're happy to have you back.
It's joyous.
Really.
Thank you.
Betty, how about you?
Oh, I've never had. Yes, I've never had more fun. I'm doing. People, speaking of what you did about film shows, people don't realize that doing the show in front of a live audience with multiple camera comedy, you rehearse decent hours all week, and then you do the show in front of a live audience on Friday night, and you go home. The film people are the ones who really slave. Ed Asner's finding that out now with his show. He says, I just never quit. I'm never off the set. But I'm having a ball doing all kinds of different things now. So I'm really happy with what's going on right
Oh,
now.
that's terrific. We know you are happy.
I'm
Randy,
ecstatic.
You're ecstatic too. And Jim?
I'm happy. Did you ever expect anybody to say no? As a
The reason
matter of
I'm
fact, I'm
asking-
miserable.
What do you want to be doing 10 years from today?
Breeding cats
Breeding cats?
carefully, and also making sure that people take care of spaying their animals. I know that sounds contradictory, but if the spaying were controlled,
Yeah. Very interesting.
I'd like to find a statistic. I wish I could find that statistic.
How about
Don't
you?
ever stop singing.
No, don't ever.
But I don't think people realize, for every unspayed or neutered cat, that cat in its lifetime can produce.
A female cat in 8 years, unchecked, can be the parent and progenitor of something like almost 5,000 cats from one unspayed
And
female.
unwanted and dying out there. So please, if you got animals,
Don't blame anybody else. If you let your cat breed indiscriminately, you can't blame anybody else for it.
Well, I couldn't. Well, I won't get into that. No, some cats kept me up the other night for about 4 hours, and I guess it sounded like they were going to have 5,000. You know, kept me up all night.
guaranteed they
Heard some-
I don't know how they can have so many kittens when they use such rotten language to each other. I just
they're incredible.
So what do you want to be doing 10 years from now, Betty?
an animal show of some kind. I'd like to be.
We'll do it together.
Yeah, that's right. You breed them and I'll put them on television.
How about you, Randy?
I want to be doing more of what I'm doing now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I love to work. I'm a workaholic.
How about you, Jim?
Well, I'll be doing the Jim Samuel Show with special guest Jim Nabors.
No? That's very kind of you. But I don't think I think I'm going to be farming.
Really? Is it?
Where?
We'll do a remote. It's okay.
I'd like to farm in Hawaii.
Well,
You
that
know?
can't be bad.
And I'd like to raise macadamia nuts and papayas and bronze my body every day.
Whereabouts,
Can we come
Jim?
and
You have
watch?
any
I
favorite
don't know
island?
yet. I haven't gotten it figured out yet, but I'm sure that's what I want to do.
You haven't chosen your particular
For some
favorite
reason or
island.
other, I've always wanted to get back to the farm. I know it's hard work. I know all the pitfalls of it, and there's not that any money in it. It's just that to be close to the earth, I think, is just such a God-given feeling of, I don't know, it's so good and clean, but I love it, and I hope I get back there someday.
Well, you do
Maybe
that.
I
These
will.
are your flowers. Are they not from your garden?
Yeah, these are from our.
They
from
are
our-
real?
They are real from his garden, no less.
That's
Not
What a
from
novelty, real flowers.
And his mom arranged them, didn't she?
Yeah. No, our housekeeper Toyoko did. She's just
Oh,
brilliant.
His
at
mom
it.
didn't arrange them. That's what I
No,
said.
she
No, his mother did not.
there's anything in your life you could change, what would you do?
Right, I'm so happy at the moment that I think I just want to keep going the way I am for the time being.
If you had your life to do over, would you change anything?
Yeah, I'd get a lot more sleep.
How about you, Betty?
I may have gotten smarter earlier because I made some mistakes, but I changed them as fast as I could. Now I'm really so lucky and so happy that it's incredible, and I'm very
Don't
grateful
you think,
for it.
though, that your mistakes were a large part of your
Appreciating
maturing?
what you have now,
Yeah.
I think so, by all means.
I think that happens with everybody. Like people ask me, would I change anything? I don't think so. I've made a lot of errors, like every human being, every person in the audience does. But I think you learn from everything, and I think we put, to have mistakes in our life.
And
It
it can-
balances out.
It can be easily misunderstood when you say, no, I wouldn't change anything. It sounds like you're, saying, oh, everything is, I'm perfect.
great, no.
And it's not a case of that. It's just that, and you take it day by day and appreciate each day for what it is.
Grabbing that day, that moment.
I just feel that till the day you die, I tell this to a lot of elderly people that I meet sometimes. I feel like that you've got to grow a little bit every day, every single day, or it's life that doesn't mean anything. And that's really sort of my dream for the future. We'll be right back. I'd like to thank my guests for making this a really fun show. Jim, I thank you for coming. I'm
Thanks
glad
for
you made
having
it
me.
this time.
Thank you.
What are you going to be doing next?
Well, let's see. I'm going up to San Francisco for some work and film. And going to find another babysitter.
Yeah, great.
There's Vinny the bookie. He's not going to work out.
Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
Randy, thank you.
Thank you.
Bless
Jim.
your heart. What are you going to do next?
Well, I'm off to do some concerts now.
Are you?
Starting next week, I'll be doing some concerts, and we have some things in the works for some more acting for me.
Oh, terrific. That's
You
great.
know, so,
Betty, thank you for coming today, darling.
Thank you, Jim. Am I going to have to give Dusty back her kid? Thanks so.
Would you come back real soon?
I'd
We love
love
you, you
to.
know.
Well, I love you. You
You're
know
really
that.
true.
Thank you, Jim.
And Dusty, we're so glad you came back. Really, really terrific. You're beautiful. You have a new album out, right?
Yeah, it's called It Begins Again, which seems somewhat appropriate at this
It Begins Again. So if you are got a chance, buy Dusty's album. It Begins Again. This was a sample of it. It's terrific. And thank you all for a great show. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bless your hearts.